morning we're on our way to have a look at Wells. It's not too far away.
No, we can walk it. It says it's about a 30-minute walk. But it's going to be hot today, isn't it? So,
Yeah, so we don't want
got
to
the
be
dogs.
Don't want to be out too long. It's getting warmer. It was quite warm at Bath yesterday.
It was, yeah.
But it wasn't too hot for the dogs, so we did call it quits around about 1 o'clock, didn't we?
We did, yeah. So we're going to look at the cathedral, aren't we? The Bishop's Palace. And you've done your research into why it's called Wells, haven't you?
No.
Okay.
Why is it called Wells?
Well, apparently there are 3 wells, right?
Yeah.
And they're all dedicated to St Andrew.
Sorry?
The 3 wells are all dedicated to St Andrew.
Right.
And there are 3 of them.
A well as in drinking water?
Drinking water well.
Okay.
Yeah, drinking water well.
Yeah.
There are 3 of them. And that's why it's called Wells.
The 3 wells?
Yeah.
So it could have been called 3 wells then?
Well, maybe they stuck at Wells in case there was a 4th. I don't know.
Right, someone discovered a 4th one. I've changed the name to 4 wells.
Been people here since Roman times. And the Anglo-Saxons built a church in 704. So it's been a settlement that grew up around the wells.
Okay.
And there's the Waitrose.
And the Waitrose, of course. Do you know which way you go? You don't, do you? Come on. Oh. Where are we then? Oh, we're there. Supermarket.
Well, are you sure that's the supermarket we're at?
Oh, supermarket.
Oh, scaffolding. I'm just saying, I watched a video from a channel called History Hits. And this very lively, bubbly woman was doing a presentation about this. And what she did do was she climbed inside up to the top and then abseiled all the way down.
Right.
But unfortunately, can't do that today, can you?
Oh, well, yeah, what a shame. What the things people do for you.
So, I won't be doing that. Could climb the scaffolding, I suppose.
7 till 6.
Yeah. Excellent.
Right.
Yeah, I don't know what quite up with her today.
Yeah. What's this?
12th century. One of the oldest medieval clocks. Built in 1390. There you go.
needlepoint lace. He said it took 2 years to make 8,000 hours. Yeah, enjoyed that. Not sure how much sound I recorded though, because one of my mics had gone flat.
What did you have when you got home on Friday?
Nice. Right, so Bishop's Palace then. Not sure I'm going to remember all of that, but we had an interesting talk from Maggie, this guide for Somerset, isn't she? So, talking about the Bishop's Palace. Now, and those who watched the coronation would have seen a guy who put the robe on the Queen, or the King.
The King.
The recent coronation.
And he held up the
You have to come closer.
Held up the words for the King as well.
Yeah, and that was the Bishop of Bath and Wells. And this is his palace. It has been for 800 years. And there's, as you say, 14 acres of RHS Gardens to explore. And he had a bit of trouble with the locals, apparently, because he was very rich and the rest of them were not.
He was the gateway to the King, wasn't he?
Yeah. So yeah, he became very wealthy and powerful because he was the only one who could say who could see the King or not. And obviously some of that involved a bit of, shall we say, bribery. It's a bit like today, isn't it, with lobbyists.
Yeah.
So I became very wealthy and powerful, and some of the locals objected to that, certainly when they had to pay taxes. So he ended up building it into a castle to keep the locals out.
Its own gatehouse
and a gatehouse and a drawbridge.
Yeah.
And a moat. And some signets. Mind your nose there, Pops. But yeah, so very wealthy and very important people.
The Wurzels.
Oh, well, I know the Wurzels, I'm not sure who Seth Lakeman is. I've heard of the Daft Monkeys. So it's an 800-year-old home. Yeah, so this is a map of the area. It's huge, isn't it? Yeah, there's the cathedral. The Bishop's Palace is over there, but you can't take dogs in there, unfortunately, so I'm going to sit in the shade. Jenny's going to have a little look round, and I'll come in later and film it. So here's the Bishop's Palace then. I'm going to have a little wander around. tour was very interesting, but I'm not sure how much of it I'll remember. The hall of the palace is exceedingly fair. It's a good job they can't hear that. I thought we were going to be able to climb some stairs there, Pops. Perhaps there was once. Yeah, maybe. Or maybe it's just decorative. That's disappointing, isn't it, Pops? A major disappointment. Fantastic gardens.
And there's a cat over there.
There's two rabbits there, isn't there?
Oh yeah.
Two rabbits copulating. It says, during the tenure of Ralph of Shrewsbury, Bishop of Bath, the curtain wall bastion towers were built to encompass the Bishop's Palace complex. Permission was granted by Edward III to top the walls with crenellations, adding to the commanding appearance of the building. Despite the imposing nature of the walls and moat, all building work carried out by Ralph would never have formed a true defensive barrier, as in most parts the walls are only 90 centimetres thick. Although the walls had been attacked once at the start of the English Civil War, the building work has saved the palace from flooding. Bishop Ralph was responsible for building the well-known Vicars Close on the north side of Wells Cathedral. These steps lead up to the only accessible parts of the ramparts and the bastion towers at each end. Go on, can you get up here? Oh yeah, go on then, go on puppy. Come on. Come on. Now what they were saying about this moat was sometimes it overflows and the water actually runs down into the street in Wells. I mean, there's been a spring here since ancient times. They said the Stone Age people settled here because there was water welling up. One of the wells that Wells is named after is actually in the Bishop's Palace. Stop it! One of the wells that Wells is named after. Yeah, one of the wells is actually in the Bishop's Palace. Where did you say the others were?
The marketplace and at the back of the cathedral.
Okay. And the water for the moat actually comes from the wells. Or from one of the wells anyway, and spring water. I don't know if I said this, but when we were talking to the guide, she said that someone's actually got the source of the Malvern spring water in their back garden.
In that Vicar's Close, isn't it?
In the Vicar's Close, yeah. So that's quite incredible. So in 1207, King John authorised new Bishop Jocelyn to create a hunting reserve in the fields and woodland south of the palace. Jocelyn negotiated with the neighbours, exchanging packages of land with them to create a wide area for the park. In the 1220s, Jocelyn stocked his park with deer from the King's own forests at Selwood and Cheddar. He diverted public roads so that no traffic went through the park. Ox carts bringing stones from Dalton to supply the cathedral masons had to take a new route around the edge of the park to avoid disturbing the deer. It says in the early 1600s, Somerset became radically Puritan and anti-establishment. In 1642, the Marquis of Hertford arrived in Wales to assert the King's authority. The plan backfired. There was a Puritan backlash, and by August the 6th, 12,000 men gathered to take on Hertford's troops. Hertford's men prepared to defend themselves behind the palace ramparts. Two small cannons opened fire on the palace from Tor Hill. visible from this bastion. Hertford's forces then fled before they were cut off, and the skirmish was a curtain raiser to the English Civil War, which began on the 22nd of August 1642. Well, that's got you worried, isn't it? God, it's not too far, too long, Poppy. That's it. Try not to look down. Quite big now, aren't they? Oh, can't go across that. It's a shame. Okay, it says in 1451 Bishop Beckington granted the town a supply of water from the wells within his palace gardens. A cistern inside this well house collected water. This head created enough pressure to force the supply through the pipes to outlets in the marketplace. Overflow water from the marketplace wellhead ran down a gutter, washing blood and offal away from the butcheries along the high street. The statue on the top of the well house is Bishop Beckington's hunting dog, a Talbot hound. Okay. It says for centuries the wells here have been pumping clean water to people living nearby. A water wheel was installed in the 1800s to power a pump which supplied water to the palace for domestic use. However, in 1870 Bishop Hervey's children caught typhoid. Suspected contaminated water had caused their illness. It may well have been right. Most of the city's wells were classed as unfit for drinking because liquid sewage from cesspits had leached into the groundwater sources. Ooh. The wells here and nearby pools form an underground river. The river forces water up the surface through weaknesses in the ground. 30s geologist Herbert Balch experimented dropping coloured dye into the potholes on the Mendip Hills. A few days later the palace moat turned green. So he's shown that rainwater from these Mendips drains underwater to rise at this point. A huge quantity of water rises through these wells. After heavy rain, the flow of water can increase tenfold within a few hours. Flood water is often cloudy with silt, but after a dry spell, the water is very clear. In 705, King Ine of Wessex gave land near these wells to Aldhelm, his bishop, so that he could build a minster. Saxon Minster lay just south of the present cathedral. A stream from this well flowed close to beside the minster. Water might have been taken from the stream for use in some church ceremonies.
It's the one of the three then, isn't it?
Yeah, the well's unceasing flow through the city would have been very significant in the Middle Ages. Yeah, so these are allotments set out on the site of the old kitchen gardens. Not many better places for an allotment, is there? On the stairs in the entrance hall in the Bishop's Palace, there's a couple of dragons on the stair posts, And the legend is that the bishop fought and killed a couple of dragons. We haven't got much time on our parking ticket. I never thought there was going to be so much to see. So we're sort of running short of time. I'm going to have a quick look at Vicars Close. Fantastic clock there. Oh, nice and cool in here. There we are, Vicars Close. So this was built over 650 years ago to house the Vicars Choral of Wells Cathedral. Continues to be inhabited by the successors today. It's unique, physically connected to Wells Cathedral, the oldest intact medieval street in Europe, 1348, and still used for its original purpose. All right, Bobby, all right. Okay. Isn't this incredible?
Yeah.
We've also recently had a lottery money of £8 million to help renovate some of the houses. Quite amazing. Chimneys.
Yeah, she said count the chimneys, didn't she? Took forever. There's one blocked out.
Yeah. Okay. Come here. Well, I hope you've enjoyed this whistle-stop tour of Wells. We really have. We're bushed now.
You could have done with another day here.
Yeah, yeah, another week. But yeah.
Have a drink in the marketplace.
Oh, yes, please.
From that time.
Anyway, so we'll see you soon.
Yeah.
Bye then. Well, that was a bit hairy scary.
Well, it's like we've got a caravan as well.
Well, yeah, if you're coming out of the caravan, that's quite a tight turn there.
We had to unhitch the car, didn't we?
Yeah.
Take the car separately. It will be all right going out because that's the way out.
Yeah.
So I think this is the Motorhome service point here.
Somewhere.
Just there.
Oh, yes. Just past the facility block.